Hey, Catholics. I want to share something special that happened, something very interesting that happened to me this past Sunday at Mass. I've been a Catholic for just over 10 years, and in those 10 years, I have never once heard a priest say in his homily that abortion is wrong, intrinsically evil. Now, that may come as a surprise because, after all, in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, it says this very truth. So, why are so many priests unable to voice that truth when the call of a priest is to be able to speak the truth, to share these messages with the people, right? So, I was very surprised to hear this. And I'm not saying that I haven't heard a priest talk about abortion being wrong, but in the homily, in the most important place where these things need to be said, which is to the faithful, to the flock, it almost never happens, especially here in the United States. So for me, I was kind of caught off guard, but I'm glad that it was said. And so our priest father, Glenn Dare, he's a retired priest in our parish, but he helps out in some of the English masses. And usually during the prayers of the faithful, he'll add in a little prayer for an end to abortion and euthanasia around the world. And I love that because even that never happens. I've been to many, many different parishes, and that a prayer to end abortion hardly ever comes up. Now, from the laity, there is a lot of people who are involved in 40 Days for Life or praying to end abortion, things like this. But for the priest to vocally say those things here in the United States, it hardly ever happens. And it's sad and it's unfortunate because if the priest isn't able to say it, then how can the laity be expected to have the courage to do it? And I think the issue is that it's become political. And if your politics and your feelings about politics are stronger than your beliefs, your core beliefs, your worldview, what God tells you is the truth, then something's wrong, right? And so if the priest has allowed his politics to come before his faith, what can we expect for we as laity? So I bring this up because I think it's important. I think we've got to reprioritize our thinking. If our belief is in God, if we believe that God is true, that what he says is true, that he has instituted a church, and that church has carried on the teaching that abortion is wrong for 2,000 years, right? Um, and, and it's not something new, right? It's not something new that the church just kind of made up 50 years ago or 100 years ago, right? So if you look in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 2271, it says, "You shall not kill the embryo by abortion and shall not cause the newborn to perish." Now, this is a quote from the Didache. This is from the first century, right? This is within 100 years after Christ was crucified and rose from the dead, that teaching was proclaimed by the church. So it's not something new. And the Catholic Church says that, this is something that cannot be changed. This teaching will never be changed. And the problem is that there's a lot of churches out there that allow pressure from political forces or from the culture or society to change their teachings. Now, if the government or society can cause you to change your teachings on something as simple as abortion or homosexuality or look at the Mormons with polygamy, right? So the government pushed hard enough for the church to change their teachings. Now, if that's the case, then who is the bearer of the truth, right? So if we believe in God, that God is true, that what he says is true, then we cannot allow any pressure from society, from the culture of the times, or from our government to cause us to change our core beliefs, right? And so I think this is why things like abortion need to be stood up for, need to be spoken out on. And I'm so glad for our priest, Father Glendare, for doing that every single Sunday. And I hope that any other priest that you know, pray for them. Pray for your priest that they'll have the courage to speak the truth, even when it's not popular, because it needs to be heard. I'm Ricky Jones of Leaders That Follow. Please pray for the conversion of hearts, minds, and souls. Have a blessed day.